Right, that was our meditation. And so, see, these are always like attempts of you, of me, to come to the place where something can occur, where something can shift. Like, yeah, can I? Ah, how do I get there? Oh, bring me there. I want rest. I want to get rid of my mind work, my ideas. Can I come down here and rest? Yes, yes, you can. So today, then, with the idea of transfiguration, um, I have a whiteboard I'd love to share with you. That's one thing. But I say want to do this like for 20 minutes, then we have a break and then see what we do afterwards, if we still continue or how it feels. We'll see. So important parts that we're including into the transfiguration ideas, where I started before the meditation with two, is an idea of that not just like a body is transfiguring, like it is all inclusive. So only if you could think a body as a separate thing, like not included into, then you would not see it for what it is. So it has always to do with perception, and that is, say, one of the starting points in this Incorruptible Body class, because we start, in fact, with our observations that we have, like, okay, so this is a world, and here we are with bodies walking around here, and so the great change in the spiritual path, at least if you found one that teaches it, is that, okay, it's not out there, it's in me. So it's all happening here. Like whatever this is a dream, and I'm a whole part of it. I'm actually the dreamer of it. Without, say, when I'm not conscious of it, I'm like examining it. I find myself in science, but if I look at it with science, conscience, then I can actually see beyond it too, that it's it is a dream structure, like it's a hologram. It's literally like a reflection that I'm getting. And realizing that in our path, maybe I go very fast now, I don't know, but realizing that you're the dreamer of the dream, suddenly you see that nothing is happening to you, but you're actually the cause of what you are experiencing. So every feeling, every step that you take, every development that appears to be there for you as a reflection, every memory that you hold will circle back into your so-called world, or any kind of idea of limitation. See, and then that's one big realization. So, and it takes a moment to see that you need help. That's obvious. You need help because you don't know what you're doing. You know you're the dreamer of the dream. You recognize, yes, it starts here, but you don't know who you are. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know what anything is for. You don't even know. You don't know anything. First you thought you knew something, and now that is in fact completely gone. This is part of what we share with one another a lot, but that's why you need help. Help in the sense of recognizing your source, that actually something can flow through you as the truth that you are. It can flow through you if you listen, if you follow, say, the guidance that is there on a continuing basis. Well, that's quite a step further too. And so that's a lot of practice too, it appears that way. It seems like a lot of practice to get into that moment of I'm guided. And we think that we can hold on to parts of this as a reality in which we seem to live. That's why it looks like there are two worlds, like one inner world and one world that's out there and that affects us too at the same time. Like that, there's a bit of confusion there. A level confusion is what's being called. And so that you keep in that area, you can stay for a very long time. Because the moments that you really need to get out of it, to ask for help and to have a moment of, oh yeah, wait a minute, I'm the dreamer of it, nothing is done to me, or no, God created me perfectly, so what I thought was going on is different. Like when you suddenly have a moment in which you recognize, oh yeah, now I know who I am, now I catch a glimpse of that. Then you're good for some time, that's for some time. And in the meantime, you allow this green area of fantasies and desires and comfort zones and all this to develop further in your imagination. So in other words, you can say that in every moment that you're not aware, you're actually choosing for fear. Whether you're not aware of that, you choose for fear. So to choose for love is basically a conscious decision. You need to be, say, right here. Otherwise you tend to go into a fear mode that you know very well is very familiar to you as a human being, because separate bodies, separate names, separate places, distant places, far, close, and you name it. Associative thinking that you can relate one thing to the other by your meaning giving. So, and this brings you into a place that does not exist, even though it seems so real, and you only allow that facade, in fact, to collapse if the pain gets strong enough, or when you really suddenly got a light flash, so to speak, turning everything upside down for you, and you realize, oh my God, I really thought that this was what it was, So who does not recognize that? Is that something that you can relate to in what I'm saying? Yeah, right, yeah. I can relate to that, yeah. So this is good to have a bit of an agreement here. So that's an interesting occurrence, isn't it? So you're okay with stepping into fear. You think that's all right, like, because you're familiar with it, you know what you get, and you choose for that. While you actually, in your quiet moments, you have a different experience of yourself being, have no relationship with this whatsoever, in fact. That's how it feels too. It's like it's a moment of freedom. It's like, finally, I can let go of that. I remember the first time I went to, and somebody said, well, why don't you come to a Zen Buddhistic meeting? And I was in the middle of a huge, relationship crisis. And I went there, and I sat down for an hour watching a stone and becoming very quiet. I had like, wow, that was the best time I had for a long time. It's like, wow, so amazing that this works so well. And then I stepped right into the conflict again. So that's another thing then. But that was, it is like you cannot stop yourself. You cannot help yourself. So you can become conscious to make decisions that will help you to consciously, like I said, consciously choose for love, because these are the two choices you have in every situation. And fear can be popular in a certain sense because it seems exciting or it seems familiar. And for love, you need to let go of images and desires and all that stuff that you invested quite big in. So to choose for love is a different story. So what happens when you choose for love is like you have to hand over your sword. That's one thing. So it's like, give me your sword, give me your give me your wallet, give me your credit card, give me your, that's all stuff you don't need to enter into this love experience. Give your identification as you know yourself to be, hand it over. No, you don't have, you can come with completely empty hands. You don't need anything. Like, who would step in there with full confidence, absolutely not having any concerns about anything? You know, this is just a bit of a caricature if I say it like this, but that's fundamentally where it comes down to. So that room is still pretty quiet, it's pretty quiet. And the fear room they're loud out there, loud out there. It's crowded, people fighting with one another and seeming to have like enjoying themselves really well. These are the shadow figures of my mind thinking, shadow figures of my past. In the time that I believed that fear was a real decision, like was a real choice, that there were two options. In fact, there aren't. So here in our transfiguration theme today, you see what happens when you choose for love. It's like if one thing transfigures or transforms the world, is of course recognizing that I'm the cause of it, recognizing and making a connection with the love that I am consciously. Like, here I am, here's my sword and all the other stuff. I don't need it. I'm not confused anymore about what pain is and what pleasure is, and what joy is and happiness. And in fact, I don't need any conflict anymore. I've had enough of that. I'm saturated with that. I don't need that to prove who I am anymore. So that is the place where we want to go and see the world gently transform or transfigure into a whole different place. So it's still like a dream, but coming from a whole different place. And this is so beautiful, because you might just have had a fresh experience of that, like with Easter, who knows. Like you come in a realization of a love space inside of you, and that you just can't stop yourself from falling into. Literally, you fall in love, in that happening, in that occurrence. You can't get yourself out of that, because literally it feels like there's nothing else going on. So you didn't want the conflict any longer. You didn't want any of the like loudly screamed temptations any longer. For just a moment you were experiencing the purity of your innocence. That is incredible. That's incredible. So you feel in that moment that there is nothing else, that there literally is nothing calling you from the past. But then, so now it's interesting, because you might also have a fresh experience from coming out of that experience of love and extension, having such a good feeling of connectedness, so beautiful, so grateful for what God is giving you. And you step outside, you walk to an airport or a train station, and you miss the train almost. You got yourself into some trouble with whatever. And here you have a delay, and here you have this going on and that going on, and you seem like, well, this place of me, what happened with my peace? Where is it gone? And it seems to be like completely lost for a moment, until you return back to your stillness and find the same place again, like not changed by time at all, as we said in the meditation too, not changed by time at all, completely free of any idea, in fact, of the past or any idea of guilt. So then you return back, you sit in your seat, going in the direction you want to go, resting in the peace of God again, finding that switch back to love instead of fear, that you might want to miss something, or that you forgot this or forgot that, or did not think about this, or how am I ever going to get to that, or who knows what the consideration was, the temptation to think that there's something to be really concerned about. So this is, I think, a pretty good description of your state of being right now. And so can I have an agreement on that, or yeah, recognizing that? Yeah, okay, yeah, yeah. Oh, good.
Yes, 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 yes.
So, and then that is maybe the first day, and then the second day. So it doesn't stop. So you seem like you missed the meditation, or you seem like you missed this and that. You seem like, well, what is occurring now in this development? Like, I have this beautiful experience. I want to hold on to it. It was so great, and I want to take it with me, but I seem not to be able to grasp it either. And so how to continue? What to do now? Okay, you come back into your practice and you start taking quiet times for yourself again, and still it feels different. And the first doubts might come in, or the first say healing opportunities might come in out of the blue, that you think like, wow, I didn't know that happened, that could happen so quickly. Like all these persons from the past suddenly are like, right in my face, like, what happened, what is going on? And but now it's different. They come up for a very specific reason. So I don't know if you had that the last couple of days. I did. Like, yeah, some figures from the past are showing up, and suddenly they're like right here in my face, so to speak. Like, wonderful, great. So I'm the only one? Okay, well, that's all right. So the great thing then is coming back to the staying in the moment, like we practice in the meditation today, is in fact the only place where that is safe, where that is secure, where that is steady, where that is calm, where that is peaceful, where your innocence is being kept, and innocence of everyone involved is kept. But the only thing is that you have to actively remember that. And the tendencies, say, you can say in relationships, or maybe with family, or maybe with your partner, or with your, who knows what happens, is then the tendency to respond as you were used to, just to calm everything, is gone. You don't seem to be able to get back to that. Like something shifted in your consciousness, something has been transfigured in you. So you're not able to respond. Whatever you say, it doesn't seem to work anymore. Even though you say the same words, it already is being taken differently. So it's like the transfiguration is actually happening. And that's okay, even though that might look like it increases the conflict for a moment. And that's perfectly all right. So going through that process, in fact, I described my own process, I know that. So going through that process, because consciously doing that, you see the healing capacity of it, like consciously going through that, it gives you the opportunity to say, in fact, to help, if you want, to release the situation. Like you can do your love declaration, your love declaration to the one that appears to be in conflict with you. And you don't have to convince anyone. You don't have to do anything. In fact, you give to the situation that what you have received, and that what you are receiving in this moment. And yeah, you might even take time to do that and to breathe that in for yourself, seeing that that is in fact transforming something, that is actually doing something for you. So you can also say, and we use this a lot too, is like you step back out of the situation. You step back out of it in order for the light to do the work. You come from an attitude of giving. You allow, in fact, you allow that space to be filled with light. And what do you do then? You do nothing. You just be patient and listen. And what occurs? It's like, well, that's huge, because you're not confirming anything. You're not responding out of fear. No, you consciously stay in this place of love where anything can occur. Like we had this beautiful meditation the other day. It's like everything is given in the moment, like everything, every decision, every move that has to be made to bring you nearer to God is given you. It is given you. So you just relax. Let that be given then. Let it do its work. And you see that things start to shift and move and move and move. So it's like it's really transfiguring this world, your world, of course. So you can also say, like, yes, I recognize I'm the light of the world, because I'm in fact allowing that space to be there. That's not a big thing in a sense. It is just something new that I have to allow myself to happen by not choosing for my automatic switch into fear. I'm pretty good in time now. Okay, I'll keep an eye on it. And so that's great progress if you can do that consciously. So you have always a choice to choose between love and fear. You know this maybe even from A Course in Miracles or what. It's like you choose either love or fear. But to be in a situation that appears to be conflictuous, and stay in your peace, and in fact not move, but step back a little bit to allow something else to occur, is really the invitation that goes out to you in what I'm sharing with you. Like, that's the invitation. And that's really where the miracles are. Because the fear-chosen hypnosis, in fact, or the fear-chosen mesmerism that occurs, creates situations that are not real. So they're not going to bring you further either. It's like not constructive whatsoever. In fact, you could say it's an attack. So choosing for love and standing still in that love that you recognize yourself to be, you're not going to determine how anything in it is going to look, because you know it, where it comes from. So there's nothing that you have to shape or to imagine. Like, what is. So that works by itself. Like, that will reveal it to you. And that's so great. So I wanted to share this experience because I literally had that today. And that was also like, oh, that is so unusual, because it in the end, even by choosing this way, the whole occurrence appears to be like a non-occurrence. Like, yeah, there it goes. Like it dissolves literally. So there was nothing going on, and here it is confirmed. It is more like that. Like, okay, that's taken away. Now it's free to be itself. However that continues is not of my concern either. So